What up, Twitch? It's Monday night, and it's Dungeons and Dragons night, and it's been so long. So welcome. You're on the PU2 ASU channel, and I've got the PU2 Cru here in tow. They are on here as well. Say hello, gentlemen. It is so good for everybody to be here.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen. It is good to be back in the saddle again. It is good to be... That's right. It's good to be here and with you guys. So, I will say that it's been very, very long, but it's not been by design. We really have wanted to play for a while, and it's just not been able to happen. So, I'm happy to report that tonight we've got the crew together to be able to do a little bit of the one-shot we started a while ago. So, let me kind of do a quick overview, and I'm going to mute, actually, the crew here so they can just yell at me and you can't hear it on the screen. We are going to be going over our Piece of 8 campaign, so it's a little bit of a recall. Piece of 8 is a homebrew campaign, 5th edition-ish, where we go over the great story of One Piece in my head. So basically, I'm a big fan of that anime, made a homebrew campaign around it that was inspired by it, and that's the story that we kind of settled into here. So, tonight we'll be doing a one-shot based off of Ichibi's character, which we started last session. So that's kind of where we are. And I will bring the party off mute for that, but that is where we're going to be coming in at. Just a reminder for everybody, as I haven't been on Twitch, I'm PU2 ASU. I do still exist. I am still on Twitch, and we do mostly D&D, but also just games with friends. And so that is a little bit about me. You can find me on all the Instagrams, all the Facebooks, all the TikToks, all the X's. All the places. Every TikTok. Every single TikTok. That's a little bit about me and a little bit about my channel. Feel free to drop me a subscribe or follow if you would like. As a reminder, you can do an Amazon Prime subscription once a month for free. So why don't you throw that our way so we can keep these videos going. So that's a little bit about our channel, a little bit about what we do. Hopefully, now that we're in the summer, we've kind of gotten through some of the heavy traveling. I think a lot of people on this stream have been traveling.
D&D. You're playing D&D. This whole apartment is playing D&D.
I paused there for the notification of the subscription. Thank you, Climate Changer, for that. So thank you for throwing that our way.
For the reminder, PU2.
Yes. And I'm reminding everybody, let's see him come through. You can hear that lovely voice audio clip that I had to pause, that the players knew nothing what was happening, so that you could hear that on stream. So throw that our way. Okay.
If only 100 million people subscribed, that'd be $500 million right there.
That would be.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about that.
And I could finally become a NASCAR driver. That's the ultimate dream.
Yeah. Like 1 million people don't think about that. And
That's
if they
true.
just did.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Alex coming in with a gift sub to viewers. Thank you, Alex. Good supporter of the stream. You and Climate Changer, thank you, gentlemen, so much. Getting those rolling, and you too can do that as well. Just look here on the Twitch page and throw all the things at us. Okay. Let's see here. Let's just go around the horn. I'm going to check in with the PU2 Cru and see how they've been. I'm going to start with in order of people I haven't seen the most recently. So, Climate, you're up first. I haven't seen you in feels like forever.
Hello.
So, how are you?
Too long.
I'm good. I just got back from Germany and Austria.
Woo!
How
was that?
It was wonderful.
It was das gut.
Frolicked through the... Yeah, it was very super.
Nice.
Welcome in. You know, a lot of words I didn't understand that cannot repeat that were awesome.
Must not.
and everybody sounded very menacing, but they were all very polite at the same time. It was weird. It's so beautiful that I was angry at how beautiful it was. It's like, you guys just get to live like this all the time. Okay.
I won't dox you, but in your particular line of profession, was it particularly noticeable how beautiful things were?
Yes, the architecture is amazing. It's like,
Yeah, Germany's got some.
so different than the U.S., where everything's just all over the place and all these different crazy styles all next to each other. In Germany, it's like one, like it's like you took the best architect and they just did all the buildings.
It really is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I've been
Did
good.
you see people in lederhosen?
I did. That is a thing in some regions. Like, people legitimately. And it's like a pop culture thing in those regions. Like, they'll have like street gangs will like spray paint lederhosen, like people with lederhosen on the walls and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild.
The graffiti's really good
This-
where it
I
is.
respect that.
I'm just envisioning like Team Shout from which Pokemon game was that did the like yelling every time they challenge
Sword and
you?
Shield.
Sword and Shield. That's what I'm like.
gosh.
I'm just thinking like a watered down Team Rocket that are in lederhosen walking around.
Yeah,
It's like
it is kind of
Banksy
like
level stuff, you know.
Mhm.
But it's like a guy in lederhosen with a big beer mug.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
A lot of
Pretty great.
saunas. Stayed in a castle.
oh yeah. Oh.
Saw a lot of castles. Got a lot of castle stuff. Really inspired by castles now.
That's awesome.
Castles are good.
Yeah, I've heard that. No,
Castles are good.
don't quote me on this, but a lot of the stuff we attribute to medieval Great Britain was actually more aesthetically close to medieval Germany as
Yeah.
far as like knights and that kind of stuff.
For sure.
That it was
it's-
actually a bit more barbaric in Britain at the time and a bit more organized in Germany.
It was it felt a lot like walking into some of the like tropes from medieval fantasy.
That's
Just like-
awesome.
But it was real.
Did you just feel like you were in The Witcher 3 running around?
Basically, yeah, it was like The Witcher 3 the whole time. It was awesome.
That's cool. Well, good to have you back. I did just quote you, PS Zombie, put you in chat with a quote. So you said don't quote me, but I put it out there. Climate Changer, what do you play in this
Now
campaign?
I look like a fool.
That's right.
I play Ichibi Harada, the Ranger, subhuman.
Cool.
Subhuman.
Subhuman.
I don't know what you call the race that I am now.
Cool.
I have partaken of the devil fruit,
Mm,
and
the forbidden fruit.
yes, I have a spectral fish familiar that floats around with me. So
Cool deal. All right.
And speaking of humans, I just want to share a funny quip that I've been sharing around. My little brothers, who are 11 and 7, I guided them through making some D&D characters because I was going to do just kind of like a silly little campaign with them. And my younger brother, when I was going through the races, I was like, so which one would you like to be after I listed them all? And he goes, oh, I don't like monsters. I'm going to be a human. And I was like, there you go. That's
okay.
Respect the honesty.
he was like visibly cringing when I was talking about like tieflings and stuff. I was like, all right, but you don't have to do anything you don't want to.
No one's making it.
He's
Yeah, I foresee a lot of xenocide in that guy's character's future.
yeah, right. Well, he picked a druid specifically because he
Okay.
wanted to turn into animals, and I'm like, okay, pot calling kettle black, you're the one turning into wolves every 5 minutes, calling other people monsters.
That's right.
Animorphs.
Animorphs.
Oh, good series.
Kill the aliens
Great series.
by turning into monsters.
All right. So then, thank you, Climate. It's good to hear from you. Good. His character Ichibi is the one we're exploring's backstory here on tonight's stream as we finish that story out. Okay, we also got Alex on here. Alex, I've seen a little less recently, but still, it has been since the streets of Dega. Have I seen you? Since I've seen you last. So, how are you doing?
Good. I have also been doing some really exciting, cool travel. I think a little cooler than Germany. I got to go to Orlando for work, so that was pretty great.
Great.
Oh.
Great.
And, yeah, happy to be home. But no, I'm doing good, man.
Good
I think
deal.
there's a hit Broadway play about that.
Germany to Orlando.
That's a good one.
Okay.
To Orlando.
Okay.
Being really excited about Orlando. They got SeaWorld and Disney.
Yeah.
They do golfing.
Orlando. Anyway.
Did you do anything fun while you were there, or was it just work?
No, just work. Got to see the inside of a really nice conference center for a week, so that was cool.
Cool. It's not Disney World, but that works.
No, I mean the next best thing.
That's right. And Alex, what are you playing this campaign?
So I am playing Gornik the Barbarian. He is kind of a mischievous, sarcastic guy, but he is also a partaker in the dragon fruit. So he has the ability or power of telekinesis, and he likes to really at this point just torture this poor person that we've abducted. And make him in handy later on. So he's having a good time with it.
That's good. You bully your neighbors, you know.
That's the moral of this whole story, I thought.
That's that. Yep. You nailed it. You Gore nailed it. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you, Alex. Can you get me on mute, or get yourself on mute real quick where that reverb's back? It's a little nasty. Thank you, sir. And then we're going to finish out here with PS Zombie. PS Zombie, how are you doing?
I am doing well.
Good.
I am.
Good. We've been
But yeah,
playing some Fortnite.
yeah, been trying to. This new Star Wars season,
That's
pretty
what
legit.
It is.
Ammo's not a thing. That's the best part. All guns are recharge, not ammo. So it's pretty fun not to have to worry about that.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I got to play that in an airport.
Cool.
There's a
Oh, yeah?
Fortnite thing, and it was like $20 for 30 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Oh wow, like almost
But-
like an arcade cabinet for Fortnite or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, there was like, why is my gun never running out? Why is there a giant, spaceship in the sky blowing me up?
Well, that's what was awesome is me and PU2 were able to get one of those ships. It's like, I don't know if you played in the Godzilla season, we did a little bit, but it's like the portal opens up, and if you're the first one there, you get to be the Star Destroyer and like nuke everybody from space. It's very fun.
Wow.
But yeah, but in our main campaign, I play Garza, who is a martial artist from the Dragon Turtle School, and the ship's cabin boy, always swabbing the deck, etc. Also a devil fruit eater. Ate a devil fruit, gives him some fire powers. And then in this campaign, I'm playing the ironically named Tiny, who is a kid adopted by giants, normal-sized kid, who's kind of a older brother bully type character to young Ichibi.
That's right. Thank you for
That's about it.
reintroducing the one-shot character you had there of Teeny. And then, Alex, we didn't get a chance for you to introduce the individual you created for this campaign, affectionately known as the Chiseler. I think we dubbed him in canon.
Chiseler. Oh, man.
That's right. Very nice. And that chat is still blown up with memes. Alex, what was it that you named him? Was it Chiz? Chisler? Chiz? He's gone on mute and shunned me. I'm afraid I've lost him.
Did y'all say Riz?
I think it was the Chisler. I think we called it the Chisler because on here we got him as Chiz. Alex, tell us.
Want to hit him with the
I
cheese?
just realized my typos in there. That's right.
The even with the typos, I think the message is well communicated.
Thanks.
It's well
I do
received.
try to be perfect in everything I do. So.
Maybe I can unmute him. Oh, local mute. I can't. I can mute somebody, but I can't unmute somebody that self-mutes. Add break music.
Oh, dang.
Unmute me, the Chiseler.
The Chisler.
He says in
You
I can do
haven't
it.
muted? How could you?
How
Local
could
mute.
I? I'm just going to text him.
Just tell us
There we
what
go.
you want to say, one letter at a time in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
I have.
do exactly that. The Chisler. He texted, corrected me. Thank you. The Chisler is, in fact, when I hit him with a chiz, is the most recent meme prior to. And he's got the Walgreens name badge. I love it.
Yeah, so based on the fact that I wrote Chisel on there, I'm guessing that's his real name.
Yeah. Okay. Cool deal. Well, I don't know what happened to your character sheet, Alex, so if you could investigate your character sheet. Because we're about to need it.
Have we misplaced it?
Excuse me, is it
Hey, you're
one
back.
S or two?
Am I back?
He's back! Where'd
He's
you go?
returned.
Yay! All right, the Tresler.
The Chisler.
He's
Yes.
back.
That's right.
I'm
Well,
trying to get that character sheet to load, but yes.
okay. Yeah, check that out for me because I was trying to see and it's just not, so. It's just not doing its thing. Okie dokie.
I think I got it. Chisel.
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 Just chisel.
Yeah, I got the character sheet.
Chisel. Okay,
Oh, chisel.
is it... I don't understand, sidebar, why Roll20 does this. Maybe you know Climate. Why do we have two of the same character sheet monsters in Roll20? They're exactly the same under the monster compendium, but they're just slightly different icons, but it's the same character. I'm like, that's very confusing. I don't understand.
If they're
I'm not sure I
exactly
understand
this-
exactly what you're
this-
saying.
I mean,
Like spiders, there's two spider logos. Two spider, like if you go to Monster Compendium, spider is twice. Those character sheets are the same for each spider, but the
Oh, let's
logo is
see.
different. I'm not saying this because you're going to run into a spider. Matter of fact, this is going to be exclusive spider-free podcast or stream tonight.
Excuse me?
That's just my
it could
example.
be they're just trying to give you a little utility. Like if you want to have RP moments, you want different spiders, I guess.
Well,
Maybe one's like a familiar version and one's a wild version.
I don't know. But I exclusively do not.
Oh, you know why? One's the 2024 version and one's the 2014 version because they just released a new version of D&D. So I'm guessing it's
cool.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
guessing
there's
they
two
just, like,
swarms of
auto-release
spiders.
new-
There's two phase spiders.
even if
two
it's
giant-
identical, they released a new one just
Cool.
to mesh with the 2024 stuff.
That's confusing. But I'll allow it.
There's
I
two
haven't
of
touched any of
everything
that
now.
stuff
Oh
yet.
my gosh.
Okay. Anyway, let's get into our campaign. What do you say?
Yes.
Cool.
I say
I'm gonna
yes.
cut
I
on.
say,
Yes.
let's get into it.
Can you guys hear this music?
Back to you, Cotton.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to Peace of Eight, the campaign where Tamarian D. Kite assembles a group of local pirates to become the next Buccaneer King. This story chronicles the adventures of the Kite Pirates as they follow their captain through various adventures. Shortly into their adventure, they encountered the island of Mizpah, where a local murder has happened, causing several of the party members to each go through individual flashbacks. We find ourselves in the Floatlands, the home islands of where Ichibi hails from. This story is chronicling the adventures of Ichibi and his family and his friends from his local island, who were shot up in the sky and found by local scouts in this strange new land. The party was captured by a bunch of high elves and brought before a council, where the council was investigating why these children were here and what their intentions truly were. A local group of purists were wanting these individuals dead, and now they have to prove their innocence. And that was good timed. Okay. And that's where you guys were. So it's just a recap. You guys were under a council. There were some elders in a town. You guys ended up dead center of the map. There where that little island is in the middle of the water there. The island itself that you're on is up in the sky. You're up way, way up in the sky. And Ichibi's father had built a device. He had dedicated his livelihood and many, many years of his life to create a flying machine that got him up into the Floatlands and then crashed. And you guys survived the crash and then were rounded up by these locals and brought before a council of elders. All these elders were high elves, and they cross-examined you to figure out your intentions. You guys noticed that there were two factions in this grouping. One that wanted to give you sort of the benefit of the doubt, and the other that wanted you pretty much dead or banished or off the island entirely. So 1 second, and I'll look at my notes of what I called these people.
What did
I call them?
The Sky Folk.
Separatists.
Oh, yeah. That would have been good. That's a better name.
Rebels.
The Overseers. So this is a faction known as the Overseers, and they... Alex is distracting me with his trolling. And they are in charge of, like, keeping the purity of the island. So they're very much extremist. They don't want outside intervention, and they really do not like you guys. So as you guys were there, you pretty much noticed that half of the council was influenced by these overseers, and the other was kind of just a little bit more sensitive to the fact you guys were literally kids and not wanting to murder children. And they were a little sensitive of your situation that you crash land here and had no way home. So, are
you about to be executed?
You guys kind of debated your way out of execution, but basically neither the overseers wanted you dead, the other faction did not, and it was kind of a stalemate. You guys didn't do any benefit to the conversation, though. Your role playing and your rolling did not help you. So it was kind of a stalemate of a situation. But you sort of were self-appointed by the elders, by the courts, a legal representation. And that person, I don't know if I've named them, so I need to name them. I'm buying time on the stream to name them. High Elf Legal Council name.
Oh.
Thank you, chat. Okay.
Established 1942.
That's right. Ooh, I like this. Valoran Thendes has agreed to take you as your kind of general counsel. He's the state defendant. We'll say that. He's kind of on trying to get the case from you and understand what's going on here. So, as part of this, he suggests that you leave with him, and that's where we are now. So that kind of has caught you up from what we played on the last time. Where we left it was you were traveling out with him to the area of the cliffs, the north-facing cliffs on the back of the island. So if you look on the map, I'm going to zoom out for Twitch so that Twitch can see. You will see that the map has a giant mountain on the windward side of the island. It kind of blocks all of the wind blowing in from the north. And so on the back side of that are some cliffs. They call them the Cliffs of Solitude, and that is where your representative Valrin Thandes is wanting to take you. He is kind of talking to some of the soldiers right now, and he is gaining a lot of trust with them to try to convince those soldiers and the folks around. You kind of hear this going on, that you're getting no escort except for Valdrin. He's kind of like owning taking you here, or taking you under his wing without like military escort. So you see these soldiers and him debating back and forth for a minute, and then he kind of like he's like rubbing his forehead a little bit, seemingly like a little stressed, and then kind of gives the soldiers a calm down motion, and then comes over to talk to you. So with that being said, and all this going on, as he approaches you all, what do you think you were doing in this moment? And if I recall, I think Teeny was on trial, and you guys were kind of hiding in the audience, and then y'all revealed yourselves. So now all three of you are in the middle of this plaza where these elders were, and there were 10 elders and chairs in a half circle, and you were in the middle of them during the trial. And there was a huge gathering of an audience around, and he is approaching you, this Valdrin Thandes. He is approaching you, and what do you do in this moment?
Ichibi. So are we on the mountain? Right.
No, not yet. You're
right.
about to start your journey to the mountain. He's about to come and collect you to go.
Okay. Well, Ichibi, he's kind of got a long view. And I think he's going to realize that he needs a way to survive here. And so I think he would offer up to this person, Valoran, any kind of services or help that he can provide. He will do it, just being very grateful for his support in the council and not killing us.
Okay.
So any kind of work that he might need, or that would, anything that Ichibi could glean that might help him provide value to that individual.
Okay. So
for example, like a guild member's, a guild apprenticeship, for example, maybe.
So,
it's part of.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, kind of seeing as Valrin approaches, he kind of senses you're like wanting to cooperate, you're wanting to fit in, you're wanting to assist, and your general thankfulness and appreciation. So he kind of goes to you first. He still doesn't know what he thinks of Tiny, and the Chiseler kind of weirds him out a little bit. So he's going to you, and he says, he goes, so the elders are needing to reconvene. Oh, I didn't introduce myself, so sorry. And he kind of like gracefully nods to the three of you. Valrin Thandes, I work with the elders. I am here to sort of build your case. I want to know more about where you come from. because we will reconvene. The whole council has decided to allow you all to go to the Cliffs of Solitude, and I am personally taking you there because I believe that is the best place to keep you away from our culture here, because as you can tell, not everyone wants you to be here. He says that in a very kind of soft tone and leans in when he says that part. And says, so it'd be best, and he kind of stays soft voice, it would be best if we go here to the Cliffs of Solitude so that we're out of the being intervening with the locals. So there I can prepare a case for you and potentially figure out a way for you maybe to get home or whatever, but we need to move that way. Now here's the thing, and he kind of leans in even closer. The military is very hesitant about leaving you out of their sight. As you can tell, the High Guard over there. And at Chisler, you like look over like super obviously at what they're talking about. And Valrin kind of like tries to like get your attention back. Like don't make it obvious, you know. And so he's like, no. They will agree to escort us to the edge of the kind of civilized areas here. And that is probably the best way to appease everyone. And you can tell he kind of eyes some people in the crowd. You don't know what that's about, but he's basically saying that y'all are going to need an escort for half the way. And so then he goes in and says, but after that point, we will continue by ourselves to the Caves of Solitude. Now, it is of the utmost importance. And he kind of gets very stern and serious and stoic with you when he says this, that you do not make this more complicated than it needs to be. I do not want you to run. I cannot help you if you run. You will get found and it will be much worse for you. I advise that you follow the rules. I'm going to do everything I can in my power to assist you, but I can only represent you when you're honest and you come to the table with truth. If you are hiding something or not being honest, then I cannot protect you from this island or these locals. And he gets even very stern, serious, and softer in his voice when he says this part, and some really would kill you now had the other elders not said something. So I say you quietly come with me and we start our journey to the other side of the island.
Okay, well, I'm young Ichibi, and I just want everybody to like me. And I'm really smart, and I can help with anything you might need. And please, sir, don't throw me off the side of the sky island. Okay.
He smiles.
I'll
nods.
follow the rules. Okay.
I don't know why you had to look at me the entire time you were talking about running and breaking the rules, but I saw it.
He nods at you and kind of smiles a little bit too at your response. And then he eyes you, Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't said anything at this point. And so Valrin notices that and kind of leans towards you specifically and kind of looks at you and says, shall we proceed?
Yeah, old man. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm not an idiot.
Actually, I'm a ripe old age of 210, so it doesn't matter anyway. He's like he's going to explain, but he doesn't. He's like, whatever. So he starts to depart and kind of asks you to follow him. So.
So
Follow?
Tiny will follow him out, but like right before they leave the council, he'll turn around and flip him off and be like, "Oh, I don't know about sky culture, but down there, this is a rude gesture."
The gesture doesn't translate well, but it does give them a lot of confusion, and they can tell it's probably a rude gesture, so they just kind of, some of them glare at you, and some of them are very confused. All right.
Yeah, it turns out their version of flicking off is like the Napoleon Dynamite butterfly or something.
It's a thumbs up actually. Yeah.
This is gonna
It's
get
very backward. Okay.
And I'll kind of lean over to Chisel and be like, "You can't show weakness. It'll make him disrespect."
I just give you a thumbs up.
There's a gasp nearby.
Yeah, that was considered the worst.
That's right. Thumbs down is a compliment. It's very topsy-turvy world here.
Makes sense.
All right.
Everything's upside down in Skyward.
That's right. Oh, man. Alex is still trolling me and saying it's intended for Tristan. That's the joke from before. Sorry. Or PU2 PS Zombie. Sorry. I don't know who this other person is. Okay. So you guys are heading out, and you notice that you immediately have a guard escort that shuffles in tightly beside you as you get onto the ferry. I'm going to try to point out the journey here on the map for Twitch. As you can see, Twitch, we've got the float lands here. And then just a reminder for the party, you guys can see where I'm clicking down on the map. That cliff face is where you crash landed. You were then gathered from there, and you were taken around this lake the long way until you got about right here, and that was a ferry that brought you to the main island, which is a pretty thriving metropolis. You gather this to be kind of the city, the capital city. So,
just to be clear, a ferry like a boat, not a ferry like Tinkerbell.
Yes. I'm glad you clarified that. Absolutely. So, you guys leave this island. You get on the ferry. You make your way to these cliff faces. You have an guard escort right until you about get to the base of the mountain. So, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to... Yep.
He's zooming.
You. Thank you. Ichibi, you as well. I can't move. I can't move the chiseler.
What?
And I know the chiseler...
He's become too powerful.
Oh, that's because I'm trying to do it on the freaking... That's right. I got to do it. Oh, did you do it? Oh, he can move! It's a miracle!
Whatever update you did on your computer worked.
That's right. All right. So put your characters about there. You guys will get an escort up into the base of the mountain, and then your escort, like, quickly, you don't even notice the exit. Like, it's so quick. And you're now on a very narrow path that winds to the back of the mountain. And it's very narrow, and you have to go single file. And this whole trip, as you've crossed the water ferry on the boat, and you've gotten through the forest here up until the edge of the mountains and the rock face, it's the whole time your guide, your defendant, your attorney, Valrin, has been super quiet. So he hasn't said much to you. And matter of fact, one of you kind of tries to strike up a conversation, and he kind of hushes it out, right? So, and the guards kind of hush you too, very sternly. And so, in quietness, you kind of walk through, and it's not bad though. For some of you, this is very cool because this is a very strange island. At one point, you kind of pass through what seems like fog, but it's actually rain. You're so far up that rain doesn't fall on you. You just kind of quickly, it kind of flashes in front of you as you're walking. You're just kind of hit with this mist that's more like a fog that rolls in quickly and leaves you, and it's rain. And then you notice that the trees grow upside down in a way. The bases of the trees are super skinny, and then they flare out to be big. So almost like if you were inverting a tree, these are how these trees grow here. Moss doesn't grow on the ground. It grows on the tops of trees. Everything is a little bit flipped here. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit odd. The rocks that you climb, the tips of the rock are very hard and sort of calcified, but the bottom of the rocks are a little bit soft. You kind of touch a boulder as you're going up the side of the mountain, and you notice that it literally sort of changes texture from top to bottom as you kind of run your hand along it when you graze it. So this is a very unique land. Things are kind of geologically different here. It's a little bit fascination. I'm just assuming that Ichibi would have that fascination level because kind of his like, his dad.
Yeah.
Okay, because his dad was an inventor. So I'm assuming you were like totally fascinated. And I don't know, Tiny or Chiseler, what you guys would think of this environment, but for some of you, it's very fascinating. This little area.
Yeah, it might be quiet and everything, but he would have a hard time like not just stopping and just looking at stuff.
Yeah.
He probably has to keep getting like prodded along because he's fascinated by all the little things in the micro ecology of everything.
Yeah,
So-
I think Tiny would just return to his defense mechanism of making fun of stuff. Be like, hey, somebody needs to tell your rain is supposed to fall. and he just like nudges
Burn.
Chisel with his elbow. Like he's
Burn.
decided that Chisel is like along for the ride, regardless of whether you feel like you are or not. He's decided he's the one who's like, yeah, right. Pal, you hear me? We're on the same page here.
Know what I'm saying?
This guy gets it.
This guy gets it.
Know what I'm saying?
I think I can tell that Ichibi's too enamored that I'm looking for somebody to be on my side.
He's so enamored, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that is a very interesting observation, Tiny." That instead of just like realizing that you're actually making fun of everything.
Be like, shut up, nerd.
Okay, we are supposed to be quiet.
Now. You're
With this path being so narrow, I hope the first.
Then I'll
person
remember your
doesn't have
dad
to use
said,
the
but I'm like
bathroom.
too proud to apologize, so I'm like, whatever.
I think Chisel's going to be kind of enamored with this guy who's like basically thinks they're friends, and so I'm just going to be kind of mockingly agreeing with him the entire time, but also just kind of making faces behind his back. It's like hyping up his ego, but also completely over it.
Hey, best of both worlds.
Right?
there you go. All right.
Collecting rock samples and moss samples. Oh, I love it.
Do you do that in secret, or do you think Valorant notices you?
Yeah, I'd probably do it in secret because I don't want Tiny to beat me up.
Okay. Roll for secret. See if Tiny beats you up.
Let's see
Okay.
what my passive
Stealth or
perception
sleight
is.
of hand, I guess.
Yeah. Does that beat your passive perception? You're too busy
Let's
trolling
see.
to do active
It does.
perception. Okay. So you don't get bullied.
You're too stealthy.
Great. I didn't need any more mental trauma.
That's
This has
her.
been really rough.
Yeah, you've had
so
a rough
far,
little
so-
time here.
Yeah, your dad did die after a lifetime of trying to get a sky machine going and then crash landing it and dying. So
But you know what? He fulfilled his dream before he died. So
And
that's
I'm
good.
in
That's
total
beautiful.
shock, really. I'm just like disassociating through the act of observing this new environment.
yeah, that's healthy.
Probably not. But
I'm sure that'll help.
a little kid, what else? They don't know how to cope with these horrible things. So
I also feel like with Valorant being the only adult who's been nice to us, like I could just picture you accidentally calling him dad a couple times. Like,
oh yeah,
like look at this, dad. I mean, Valorant.
yeah. But dad,
My dad's dead.
Is that something you call your legal representation in where you're from?
I'm sure you would not be the first person to call their counsel for the defense dad accidentally.
That's like the worst version of calling your teacher mom.
Yeah.
I'd be like, so dad, what's my chance of getting a death sentence here.
He has a flashback. You don't know what it's about. He just stares off for you. Okay, I'm going to put this character sheet on the map for him. You guys arrive at your location. It's just a cave. You notice as you get further up the mountain, that's him, but just imagine a high elf. Theater of the mind that to be a high elf. So you guys go up the cliff, and you notice as you get higher, you get above, like there's a cloud that kind of comes and is cut by the mountain, and you kind of rise above that. And as you're walking, clouds are everywhere. It's not like you reach a certain elevation and get them. But once you reach this set of clouds, there is no other clouds towards the top of this mountain. So it's very nice. It's very windy up here, though. The wind has started to really pick up, and it honestly moves your bodies a little bit, your kind of childlike bodies. And I mean, even your guide is struggling a little bit as well. As you look around, though, you notice that there's all these holes in the mountain. There's like the trail that you're walking then splits off into all these smaller little trails that go to all these holes that kind of look like human-sized gopher holes in the mountain in different locations. And so he takes you on a smaller path and leads you to one of those, and you go into this kind of outcropping cave. It's open face, so it kind of once you get to it, it's not like it doesn't go far into the mountain. And it's just kind of more like an alcove, like an outcropping into the rock that maybe goes probably 50 feet inwards. Yeah, we'll say 50 feet inwards. And kind of an outcropping that starts at 6 feet and then kind of caves down to kind of like a dome from there. So if you can kind of imagine going through an outcropping that's 6 foot tall, and then it kind of just caves down a little bit. So, Valorant's pretty tall, so he kind of has to squat a little bit. But you notice that there is, in the middle of this area, is the remains of a campfire. So you can tell off to the side that there's like some various supplies. So there seems to be some fresh firewood. There seems to be some canned, you kind of can't tell. This all looks really weird, these kind of containers you're looking at, but seems to be some sort of rations or liquids or something. You kind of can't tell. Some of it looks a little bit more scientific to you, particularly Ichibi. You can kind of tell some of these look like vials and potions, and other things are just like weirdly wrapped. Like there seems to be some sort of something wrapped in just a bunch of leaves and sealed off with sticks. And so he kind of takes that, he picks that package up, picks the wood up, and you kind of watch him, and he tells you to have a seat, and then he starts building a campfire. So all the while not really saying too much as he's building the campfire. So what do you guys do in this moment?
Ichibi kind of sidles up to the guy, and Ichibi has bad charisma, but he doesn't realize it. And he's just sort of like, heh, so like, we're really high up here, and you're a high elf, so it's like, we're like, you're like a high elf, and you're also a high elf, and that falls flat, obviously.
Yeah. He just kind of nods, he keeps doing his thing. It's getting late. As you
he's gonna keep trying. He's like, that's a vial potion. Is this like a potion in a vial? Okay, never mind.
You guys have been traveling for the better part of a day. He just kind of like, okay, and then he keeps doing his thing. You guys have been traveling for the better part of a day, so it's dark by the time it's like sunset by the time you guys reach this place. So by the time he's pitching the fire, it's getting to be pretty dark. But he gets it going. He uses some weird contraption to start the fire with that you've never seen before. It's these kind of magnetized rocks almost that you kind of can't tell what's going on, but he almost seems to use that and some sort of magic to like ignite the fire. Then he gestures. He sits opposite of you all against the wall and kind of sits down and kind of welcomes you to sit next to the fire on the opposite side of him. So what do you do in this moment?
I think Ichibi would sit on the opposite side, but like as close as possible to the guy on the opposite side.
Okay.
You know? Just
Yeah, Tiny will sit direct opposite.
having just lost his father figure.
There you go.
I think
And,
I'd say
uh,
for how antagonistic he is, Tiny still like is aware that he's the oldest and considers himself the leader of the party, even if he's not doing anything to help.
I'd like to think that Ichibi picked something edible up along the way, but he's not 100% sure if it's edible. So he was gonna like marshmallow style roast some berries or some kind of fruit or whatever he picked up, and let this dude see him do that. Trying to be like, yeah, see, I'm useful.
He
I think Chisler's going to be sitting next to Ichibi, just sort of laughing, thinking, I know that thing's not edible. This is going to be really funny.
and sure enough, Valrin watches you do this and just like very calmly like pushes the stick away, grabs it, and like the most monotone way tosses it away and down out the mountain and says, "That's poisonous, don't eat it," and then continues to get the get some other stuff out. So as you guys as Ichibi kind of humiliates himself and you guys take a seat, you can see that Valrin puts out a pan and he's got these weird, they almost look like rotten apples, but they smell super sweet to you. And so he's cooking that and he puts it in a pan and it lets it simmer, adds some water, what looks like water anyway, and it simmers and you just kind of watch it cook. You smell it. It smells amazing to you. Like sweet smelling kind of aromas hit your nostrils. And he says, he speaks up and says, "We are now alone, and I want you all to rest. We're going to have a long day ahead of us. I want to kind of review our case and have some time to practice your defense. We've been given a couple days recess, so we need to spend that time here planning and rehearsing what we need to say. I've also made you some food here, so feel free to partake. This is one of our delicacies up here in our culture, so feel free to dig in. And over there to against the wall are some some extra water skins that you can feel free to use if you are thirsty." So he kind of puts that on offer for you all. The water skins that are next against the wall seem to be made out of this like weird faux leather that you kind of can't place, but they kind of look like canteens, something you would be familiar with.
Is this like strudel? Seems like a strudel to me. I don't know. It smells really good though. Thank you. And he's gonna eat that and then go grab a water skin. Do you have any bedrolls, sir? I'm not very used to just sleeping on the dirt. I don't know what you might think about that, but
Of course, he points to there's some looks like similar to what you would see where you're from of sleeping bags that are kind of further back in very edge of the cave, outcropping cave, and he kind of points to that and says,
I'm not gonna go in the corner and cry about my losses or anything. I'm just gonna go over here to this bedroll in the dark corner that nobody's near, and yeah.
Nice. So
You sound like you're doing fine.
Yeah, everything's okay.
gotta check
You
on
just
that
eat
guy
my
more.
strudel alone in my sleeping bag.
So as you eat this, it's like it tastes cinnamony, like kind of like cooked apples, but it's super meaty, like it's very protein tasting too. Like it tastes like you're eating a cinnamon apple, but it's feeling like you're eating a potato or like protein, like it's very hearty. So it doesn't take
meat
much.
apple.
Right, it doesn't take much for you to kind of get full. So he gestures to the bedrolls and says, these are there for you all to be able to use and rest, but while we have a little time before we're fully into twilight, I really would like to hear just your story. Again, I need to be able to know what happened in earnest so that we can work our case. So if you do not mind, I'd like you to just tell me a little bit about what happened and how you ended up in our land.
My father is a great man, and he's very smart, and we built a flying machine together. And nobody could take that from us, even if we did crash up here. And Tiny and Chisler came along, but, when we crashed, it was me and my dad, then it wasn't me and my dad. Now I'm on this island. And please don't kill me, sir. I can be of use. I can learn all sorts of trades. And, I could be, up here in the mountains, too. Pretty interesting. Whatever you guys need. I really miss my dad. Okay.
Yes,
And my mom.
I didn't fully get...
And everything I know, basically.
I'm sorry for your loss. I had heard there was another person involved in the wreckage we found, but that is quite fascinating. You were able to build this machine and do this. This is a pretty amazing feat. We don't, in my recollection of our history, I don't recall having anybody show up on the basis of some sort of a machine.
Yeah, I think he was way ahead of everybody else. He was the only one I ever knew of that did anything like that. And I want to be just like my dad one day.
Very good. I didn't get a clear report of what happened to your father from the wreckage. I didn't even know it was your father, really. There were a lot of details kept from the initial report about where you all were found.
I don't really want to talk about it.
That's fair. I appreciate you sharing. Quite honorable you're willing to give me the full details. So I appreciate your earnest, and he seems to generally appreciate you honestly and openly sharing. So he gives you some nods of thankfulness. So he points to you, Ichibi, Father Machine. How did we? And he points to you, Chisler, and he points to you, Tiny, and he says, how did we get involved with this machine? This crash? Are you all from the same place? I don't even know that.
Yeah, Dino's just saying, it's like the kid said. We're all from the same village. Nerd and his dad invented a flying machine. We just tagged along for fun. We didn't know it was going to turn into all this.
Chisler's just going to kind of nod. The gravity of things are starting to set in. He's less sarcastic.
Pondering, Valrin sits there and kind of like ponders for a minute. and then says, well, to give you some context of our world, we consider this to be the floatlands. We do not know where we really come from. There is conflicting stories of our culture and our history from the very beginning, but from since then, we've had a high culture of isolation, of no outside forces, no outside intervention. There's been very limited amounts of individuals coming from the outside in our history that we know about. And of those times, those individuals are no longer here. There's not much of an imprint that they left. So that goes to show you that we, as a society, have been very much about ourselves. Now, that's not to say that's right or wrong. It's just how we've lived. Because of that, there is a group of pretty fanatics, some might say protectors or old guard, called the overseers. This is a group of us that have a theology and a doctrine that very much believe that this is a culture and a society of ours to be protected. And so what you faced a little bit in the meeting with the elders was their influence. The overseers is a doctrine that many of our people once held. I will say that now, not as much so.
My dad is my motivation. I gotta continue the family legacy. Yeah.
Oh man. Good old memes hitting the Discord. And you too can follow these memes and join our Discord. Link for that is on our Twitch page here. That's good. Okay. So that's kind of what you gather from the society. He kind of drones on a little bit, talking about how the overseers very much desire sort of this purity of our culture, and it was pretty much a widely held belief you gather from the early part of the history of this land, but there's a little bit more dissenters now than once was. But they really don't want outside influence, outside knowledge, outside anything. And you gather that your guide here kind of also believes that the society is good without outside influences, but he definitely kind of describes, you gather from him talking, that he kind of sees the overseers as kind of extremist in their operations. So that's kind of what you gather from his little summary of the history. Not to board you all further with that. And then he goes on to mention one more thing about the society, and says, I know it's getting late, so I appreciate you sharing. We'll talk more in the morning. Just giving you this information so you can ponder. Just so you know where we are now. The council you met with was the High Elf Elder Council. That is our council of, we call it the Council of, oh shoot, I had the name of it. Come on, chat.
Get council. Okay. Yeah. Keep in mind, Ichibi's really jet lagged.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
for him, it's like, 1 a.m. Maybe that's the case for everybody else too.
Oh, I like this. The Skyward Tribunal is what you met with. And this is the ruling body that is over the order, it's over the law, it's over the kind of direction. It's pretty much your formalized government for the island. We have parts of our island that identify greatly with the Overseer Doctrine. That area of the island is a little bit more less populous these days, and we've got other parts of our island that are a little bit more free-thinking. Those parts do not mix, but all together we circle in our chief city where we had your trial. That is also where the Skyward Tribunal is, and those elders are who you met with. As you can tell, we kind of got nowhere in our debate and in our liberation, so a recess was declared, and that is what allowed me to have you all to come here for a couple days recess so that we can form our testimony and hopefully get somewhere further with the Skyward Tribunal. So that's kind of what he tells you. As he's telling you all this, it's getting a little boring for your childlike minds to comprehend, so you start getting your bedrolls out, you start getting bored with it, you start getting a little sleepy, and I think you all start getting ready to fall asleep. So in this moment, you can see that your guide also is also kind of done with the day, so he starts to get ready to go to his sleep as well. So what do you do in this moment? Do you go to sleep right away? Where do you set up your bedroll? Like what's going on with the three of you all?
Well, Ichibi kind of goes so far as to like maybe even move his bedroll further away, deeper in to the cave, away from everybody. And I'd like to think that he takes maybe he kept a piece of wood from the ship with him, and he carves, like, spends some time like carving it into the face of his dad or something over in the corner, near perhaps a coral like structure.
Back up. Near a coral structure?
Coral like? I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe there's some unusual wildlife in here in these caves as well.
Roll for coral structure, please.
All right.
Just give me a luck roll.
Of course.
D20's fine.
Oh, let's see. 13.
I'll say with that nature roll, you do find some coral. We'll take the nature. So it is like underwater coral, and it's spongy, and it's super wet. Almost seems to be absorbing all this damp cave moisture.
Very cool.
It's kind of like
Ichibi is fascinated by it.
It's kind of like what were the whispering whatevers from your campaign, PS Zombie? What was it called? The whisperings.
Oh, the gibbering mouthers.
Gibbering mouthers. I like that a lot. It's kind of like a gibbering mouther, just not terrifying and wanting to kill you.
It's like the Avatar bioluminescent version of a.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. So you find algae coral nightlight and get as far away from the group in the corner as you can to grieve your loss, which is fair. It's been a long day for you. All right. What do the rest of you guys do? Where do you pitch your bed? Where do you position yourselves? What do you do before night? Alex, you want to go first? Next.
I feel like I hear him in the distance.
Yes.
It's just me. I think Gornick's just going to kind of set up his bedroll. He's kind of a little bit withdrawn from people. So I think he's, he was excited about this trip, and it has turned out completely unlike anything he was expecting it to be. So I think he's going to kind of set up his bedroll kind of away from people, and just kind of set up on his own.
Okay. So the chiseler kind of wants to go off by himself. Do you say, and this is kind of important for just me to know, are you going to be near the mouth of the cave? Are you kind of near where the campfire was? Or are you between the edge of the cave where Ichibi is and the campfire?
I'm going to be toward the mouth of the cave.
All right, so you're in the mouth of the cave. Okay. And you're disappointed and you fall asleep being disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best kind of sleep.
Just like real life.
Wow. Hashtag sad stream.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Tiny's gonna kind of look around and see that the other two have kind of gone off into their respective corners to be sad and their with their lot in life, and I think something's gonna tunnel through his bully brain, and he's gonna feel more responsible than he does jerky today. And so he's gonna pick up his bedroll. He's gonna go over to Chisel and kind of give him a little kick to wake him up and be like, "Hey, come on," and kind of drag him over to where Ichibi is, and he's gonna make them all sleep near each other.
Oh,
And
adorbs.
And so he's gonna lie between the boys and be like, "Hey, I'm not gonna let these losers decide what happened to us, all right? We're in charge here."
Nice.
And he's gonna kind of pull his hat down over his face, go to sleep.
Nice.
Okay.
That's
I feel
cool.
weirdly inspired.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That was good role
But, like,
play.
we had, like, a
I will
Stranger
give you
Things moment.
a inspiration for that. Tiny, mark yourself a little inspiration on the character sheet for
Alrighty.
some great role play. That was a nice moment when the bully gets sensitive.
Good job.
All right. I need so everybody falls asleep. Pretty uneventful. Valrin falls asleep near the campfire. So the mouth of the cave is kind of, there's nobody there. Everybody's moved over into the far corner over with Ichibi in the alcove, as far as in as you can get, and then about middle of the cave where the campfire was is where the campfire was a little bit more towards the mouth of the cave, so I'd say like 50 feet total, so I'd say like 10 to 15 feet in was where the campfire is. So that is where your boy Valrin plops for the night. So you guys fall asleep. It's very calm and peaceful here. As windy as it is and as kind of harsh as it is up in these areas, it's surprisingly calm in this cave. And you hear some dripping of water and kind of like a low hum of just the wind rustling through the rocks, and you kind of drift off and have a pretty peaceful sleep. So, in your sleep, let me have, just for fun, everybody's passive perception that I may need later.
Let's see.
14.
13
for Ichibi. You said 13 times?
Yes.
Alex, what you got for you?
It's under skills.
Oh, sorry, I was on
Like right under.
13.
13 for you. Okay.
Yep.
Decently perceptive part.
Okay. Let's see what I'll do here. Okay. As you sleep, there is something afoot. So
Is it a
we'll
giant
do-
Kool-Aid man?
We'll do this roll.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you know.
Oh,
Notice
damn.
none of that. Okay. So you all are asleep and do not notice that
I always wanted to die peacefully in my sleep.
a figure has joined the party. He has successfully entered the cave. So now he's going to do another roll to get to Tharen's location. Valrin, not Tharen. Valrin. Okay. Effectively gets to standing above Valrin. And again, you guys are completely asleep. You're drinking of sugar plums or whatever the little kids dream of. And
Strudel.
yes, that's right. That's right. Man, it's yeah, Pop Tarts or toaster strudels is what you're dreaming of. Very kid things.
Toaster street.
That's right.
They're good even frozen.
Strawberries. What?
Yeah, the ones with egg and bacon are gross.
I'm gonna do a sneak attack.
You take that back.
Short sword. Oh shoot! Okay. So he gets out a short sword and stabs 2 times.
Ugh.
Oh shoot!
God.
And only hits once. Even though he's got advantage. I'm probably giving you too much behind the curtain. I should shut up. 2 point. Let me do a roll.
Did somebody
No,
jerk
keep
around
telling
after
us.
they got stabbed the first time?
Just gonna
It was a very
roll
silent stab.
D6 plus 2. Okay. Shell. I like having a setup here of having Climate Changer's old computer over here. This is like very convenient for not allowing you to be able to see what I'm doing. So thank you, Climate, for
Sorry.
changing my life.
All the streamers need dual screens.
That's right.
Just what you do.
It's really nice. Okay, so. Excuse me. Oh, shoot. What did I say? I said 4. So, stabs him for 4. And that's gonna hurt him in a big way. Okay. So you guys awake to Valrin screaming out in pain. And I need everybody to roll initiative. Oh, hang on. Let me get the turn order up.
You gotta bring that up.
Don't do it yet. Hold. One moment.
Don't touch
Okay.
that dial.
There we go.
You guys talking?
Yes.
Yes.
Turn order.
Hello?
Natural one. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
We are talking.
He's got all cozy. Climate got cozy. Everybody listen to we need some music. Some little light music.
Some battle music.
Yeah.
Some combat music. I got a natural 1. Ooh, he broke out the cloak. Looking like Aragorn, son of Aragorn. Oh, dang. You also got Bad initiative, but not as bad as me.
This feels like it's in Donkey Kong Country 2. It feels very Donkey Kong Country to me.
I can't hear the music.
That's on you, bro.
I know. Oh, here we go.
Oh, shoot. This is a low initiative. My gosh.
Is no one over 10? Oh my god.
Ichibi's got some issues there. So...
I'm back.
He's back! Hey!
He's sort of toned.
Alright, Ichibi. You looking all cozy there? Just in time for the fight?
That's a sick coat, dude.
It's
Thanks.
sick.
I was cold.
Nice.
I love my cloak.
That's a good cloak. We need everybody to roll initiative. It's pretty low initiative.
No one's above 10 yet.
Oh, he
hit the
did it! Alright.
He's done it.
Showing off.
He's so fast. No one can even perceive him.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm a little on edge lately.
So I will say that the stab, he would have tried to kill and get away, so you could never see him. But the stab didn't do the damage he thought, so it was kind of a botched job. So that is how alerted you, allowing you to pretty much, that was his surprise round, right? So now we can go straight into order, and Ichibi, you're top of the order.
Okay.
You wake up suddenly from your sleep, sharply to Valrin crying out to you, and a lot of blood. He took a good amount of damage from that strike, and you see this hooded figure over him with a short sword drawn and blood dripping from the hilt of it, or dripping from the blade of it.
Do we have weapons?
I will say that you can have... I don't want to work this.
Because, you know, I mean, when I created the characters,
Yeah.
he had some items, but they're just starter items. I mean, I don't know if I would have thought to bring those on an airship.
Let's do this. You all were not thoroughly searched when you came to the council. So I will allow you to have a childhood-like weapon or item if you want, or you can use what's available to you, like your fist or rocks, you know, like... So that will be kind of on you for role play, and we can kind of retcon that as whatever's in your arsenal right now.
Okay.
So, like, for full transparency, Valrin has a club, just like a wooden club he's got in his sack. So, if you want something like that...
So, I would think Ichibi has like a tinkerer's tool, like a little hammer or some little tool of his father's, and it's like a little corkscrew thing. He's gonna like try to throw it at the assailant.
Cool.
Get off of him! He's gonna teach me how to survive here. So I don't know. I guess that's
What's on your character sheet? You have a sword on your character sheet, correct?
yeah, short sword.
Okay. Well, we can just kind of use the attack roll and stuff from that. I'm fine doing that, or something similar. Okay, the 11 will miss.
Okay.
So. But
That was a valuable tool, and it didn't do its job.
Tragic.
You do anything else with your turn? The hooded figure kind of like ducks and glares at you through his hood. You can't make out. All you see is the ears of another high elf, but you can't tell the face.
So we're like 40 feet away,
Mm-hmm.
and my movement speed is 30. So I'm gonna run towards the person,
Okay.
but stop short 10 feet away from
Okay.
the.
Cool. All right. That's Ichibi. We go now to the Chiseler.
The chiseler is gonna stand up and be like, "Let me show you where they call me the chisel." Uh,
He's got a gun.
Oh.
No, I'm gonna reach down. I'm gonna pick up a handful of rocks and just chuck them at him. Just instinctively. I've got a crossbow, so I'll just use that.
Yeah, just use that. That's fine. As you can tell, we're loosey-goosey on this stream, y'all. Sorry for the sticklers.
Just him.
Just having funs.
Why won't it let me click it? Hold on. Sorry.
Let me click
I thought I
you.
had a crossbow. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Let me click
Ooh,
it.
shoot.
Wow.
Dang.
All right.
Hit him with a rock.
Right.
I'm on there.
Right
He's
up
chiseled
the
him
rock.
with a rock.
Nice. All right.
For 2.
He's definitely annoyed by that.
Right in the eyes. Both eyes.
You throw it at it and you hear a grunt as the rocks collide with the hooded figure. Do you do anything else?
I think I'm gonna run and join Ichibi.
Okay. So you get 10 feet away.
Just run toward him.
All right. The spy is, or the hooded figure is up. And what are they gonna do? Let's see here. It's gonna just finish off Valren. So I think that's what it's gonna do. Finish the job.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it does it. So we'll roll a d6er. 2 plus. Okay. So you guys see, he strikes one more time and strikes the sword in the same spot that he stabbed earlier. More blood gushes out, gargling noises. Valren screams out in pain, and now kind of you hear gargling noises from Valren as he's clinching to life, but still alive, as you can tell. And that'll be the spy, the hooded figure's turn. It is Teeny's turn.
Alright, I'm gonna... So I also have 30 feet of movement, but I'll dash if I have to. I'm gonna get between this guy and the mouth of the cave, and I'm just gonna get right up on him. Kind of try to block his path out.
Okay. Since you're doing your full movement and your dash,
Yeah.
would you
I
say...
can't also do an attack.
I get you on that, but would you say as you kind of move through the battle almost, because you were on the other side of the cave and you're going around to block the front, so I will give you a free action if you want it of trying to uncover this hooded figure. If you want to do some playful like bully banter, right? Like where you like try to knock the hood off to reveal the person. If you think RP wise that would be something like Tiny would do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll run up to the other side of him and be like, "What's the matter, ugly? Don't want to show your face?" And I'll kind of reach for his hood and see if I can knock it off.
All right, I'll say you knock it off and then go into your position that you spoke of. And exposed is now the face of your attacker. You see a high elf female with very kind of veiny, palish skin, and kind of these very odd-looking eyes that are kind of half dark and half light, so they sort of have this weird like contrast up and down. And you hear as from the gurgle sounds below, Valrin saying, I knew it, Lady Val, Lady Lady Elwyn, sorry, Lady Elwyn from, and then you hear him kind of coffee say, overseers, and that's how he gets out. So you have now connected that this is some sort of Lady Elwyn, and she is connected with the overseers. So now you know your enemy. So good job, Tiny.
Write that down.
I should have. You hear below the gargled voices of Varun basically trying to get out that he should have known it was the overseers trying to. And that this has you've gone too far this time. So that he kind of makes that out through. I'm not going to do it on the stream, but you can kind of put it in your mind as these gurgle communications towards you. For his turn, he's going to do something. Not much, because I ain't got much to work with on his character sheet. Let's see. I think he is going to cure wounds himself.
Oh.
For one spell slot. And then he's 3, that's good. And then he's going to instruct you all to run. And he's set in through gargled. He's a little bit better after he heals himself. You watch him do this really weird magic to his body, and he gets a little bit more life, and he says, "You need to run! The overseers, they've gone too far. They're hunting you now!" And then Lady Elwyn kind of tries to like tell him to shut up, and like kicks him. That's not an statics, but just kind of for role play, she's trying to like tell him to cease talking. So he's not gonna get up. Well, he's gonna get up, use his movement to like stand, but he's still within attack of opportunity range from that individual. So he's not gonna be able to do much. So he just kind of gets up from being prone, holding his wound. Used magic to heal it. Now he's up and proper. So that is him, and it's back to Ichibi.
Okay. So is the fire nearby?
The fire is nearby. But I would say probably by now it's moldered, if not out. So if you want to give me a luck roll, we can use luck to determine if we've still got some embers or what. Just
Okay. No,
it's moldered out.
Cool.
Good. That's good role play though. I appreciate the thinking.
Yeah. So I guess Ichibi's just gonna continue moving towards the assassin. He's gonna jump and attempt to just jump on the assassin.
Okay, so like a grapple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess that'd be a strength.
Yeah, I think it's a strength contest, right? PS Zombie.
For grapple?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you use your strength, and then the defender uses either their... Well, you use athletics, and then the defender uses either athletics or acrobatics to avoid it.
Okay. Where's that button to turn off the advantage? Disadvantage.
I guess that would be acrobatics, because that's related to dex, right?
Yeah, whichever. Usually it's whichever is higher for the character that you're trying to avoid.
So it's a beats it because it's a tie? How does that work?
We've got a roll off
We got
here.
a roll off.
That's a good question. I don't know who would win in that scenario. Because you both rolled. Usually the rolled number beats the static number, but both were rolled numbers. So
I'm going to say it's a beats it situation. So you got him grappled.
Cool.
Perfect. I'd like to think that, like, he pushed him away because he sort of jumped onto him. Which I think mechanically could be characterized as you're grappling somebody is able to, maybe you can move them, I don't know. But
you can, it just takes half your speed.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
You can do it.
Well, in that case, I had moved 10 feet, so I would have 20 left over, and then half of, so I could move him another 10 feet.
That's good. You move
away.
him out of striking distance from Valrin, so that's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I guess that'd move him closer to Tiny also.
Yeah. So, and the Chiseler. Both of them are 10 feet away. So you guys can, move them. You basically move the Lady Elwyn from fighting the Valrin to now fighting your party, basically, from one fight to the next.
Perfect. That'll end Ichibi's turn.
Cool. And that gets him out of attack of opportunity, so that's pretty cool. Alright, it is the Chiseler's turn.
Alright, the Chiseler, I think, is just going to step forward a little bit closer to Ichibi and the assassin here. And I can just pick up another handful of rocks. It seemed to work at least a little bit last time. And it's the only weapon he kind of has at his immediate disposal. So he's going to reach up and grab another handful and pitch them at the attacker here. Hold on, let's see.
15. That will hit. Roll some damage.
Yes.
7. That's good.
Got you this time.
Nice. Alright.
And then he's going to kind of stay put.
You hear some good guttural grunts from being hit by rocks, and she's like, "Ah, stop it! Stupid outsiders! Interlopers!" Alright. That is your turn. Yes, Chiseler, you good?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Alright. I think the spy will just try to use her. She will use her acrobatics to break out. How does this work? Is it another roll off? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think it is, yeah.
Probably another roll off.
Yeah. Then give me
So-
another roll check on that. Climate.
This is strength.
Let me see this meme everybody's laughing about. That's good. I'll show that show's very unhinged. All right, she cannot break free, and wastes her turn struggling against you. Get off me, stupid interlopers! You don't belong here. You belong dead.
Kill her.
Nice. All right, Tiny.
Okay. How close are we from, like, the edge of the cliff?
So the campfire was about 10 feet in. You were 10 feet further in. So 20 feet in total to the exit of the cave. So it's 10 feet, then it's your guide, Valrin. And then 10 more feet is you all party with this female person.
But she's where he was, so are we 10 feet from
No, remember, your boy Ichibi grappled her back away from Valorant
Okay.
towards you guys, so you all can now just kind of like wail on her because you're all in striking distance. Whereas now Valorant's clear outside of attack of opportunity sphere. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yep.
But you've got 20 feet
Sounds good.
out of the cave to go, if you want to do that. You shove her out, shove her outside.
Are we trading?
No,
We're
I think I'm
handing
just
her
gonna. I think I'm just gonna go for an attack. I'm gonna swing at her with my stickball bat.
And that will be an advantage because she is grappled. She cannot defend herself.
Oh, nice. Ooh,
10.
not a great roll.
No. Not a good
Smacks the
slugger.
Ichibi in the face.
Well, you know what?
Oh, is he using it?
The inspiration.
Oh! It's being used already. The Cuddle Fest
Yeah,
powers
well,
unite.
You know, when else do you need it? Use it or lose it, I say.
That's right. Earn and burn.
Do it for your new
I'll
friends.
say nobody messes with my nerds.
Nice.
that.
That's
I'll take
awesome. That's awesome.
more impactful swing.
And that word nerds actually translates to this culture because Valorant's like, I love that candy. I'm just kidding. Strike that from the lore.
The nerd plants.
That's right. All right.
I'll do 4 bludgeoning damage.
It's good.
My
She
bat.
does not like it. It hurts her. She's starting to get a little bloodied from all your rock throwing and your hitting and your wrestling. It is now Valran's turn.
Mm.
I've never had this much protection before. I will certainly do whatever I can to protect you all in the legal system. And he tries to do... I think he goes on the offensive a little bit. And is going to do a Sacred Flame. And I'm going to say, okay, target must succeed. Target gains benefit from cover. Creature that you can see. Okay, so he can target this and not hurt Ichibi. Can I do it that way? Sacred Flame! Okay, so... Homegirl's got to save from it with a dex save. And is able to dodge it.
Man.
So she's able...
Valorant.
Her fighting back...
Us kids are doing better than you.
Yeah. He tries to hit her with a Sacred Flame, but you guys are moving too much, and in your struggles, and he's not able to connect with that Sacred Flame. I'm sorry, I failed you. And it is Ichibi's turn.
Oh man. Alright. Ichibi is gonna kind of go a little into a rage here and just
Ooh.
try to not a real rage mechanically or anything.
No.
And try to slit her throat
Damn.
Dang. All right.
All right.
with the
I love it.
What a day he's had.
he's like over it, you know. He's just, it's hard to explain. He's just sort of
You had to be there.
Yeah. All right, 9 is not going to do it, though. You guys are struggling too much.
she's got really strong throat muscles.
She does. She's just that's all we do up here is work out our throat muscles.
and I guess move towards the cliff.
Okay. So half your movement is spent getting her close to the edge,
Which is like 15 feet, I guess.
which you are now 5 feet from the edge.
And I'm thinking...
6 feet of the edge, and I figure.
Okay.
That was bad.
And the creed the creed
all happened in
reverberates
canon.
off of the mountain faces. Hold me now.
Now.
It's awesome. Anytime I can work creed into
It's
a
really
campaign,
just-
I will.
Can you imagine the paladin that the lead singer of Creed would be?
Oh my gosh. I want to create that character. That'd be fantastic.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say I'm 6 feet from the edge, you know,
That's
instead
it.
of 5.
Just to get
just
that.
'cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not.
'Cause I'm thinking, you know,
That's right.
maybe it's
Okay.
not so far down.
You're still grappling her, right?
Yes.
Well, Tiny's gonna say, Ichibi, line her up. And let's just say if you can get her somewhere inside of 15 feet of the edge, something cool might be able to happen.
Well, she's within 5 now.
Yeah, something cool's gonna happen then. Here we go.
All right.
Perfect. Sorry,
Well-
I went to the bathroom somewhere in the middle of that and I missed.
Okay. Well, Chisler's up now, so I don't know if you want to direct him to prevent something cool from happening or to encourage something cool to happen.
No, nothing can stop it now.
Okay. Good old Chisler is up
I'm just
then.
gonna throw rocks.
Throw some rocks, man. Do your thing.
All right, here we go again. Picking up another
Oh,
handful.
good old Chisler.
I think this is gonna be the one, guys.
More like Graveler. I don't know. I didn't know where to go with that. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna let you go. All right. All right. I'm gonna hit you with the old crossbow rocks.
That's gonna hit. It's gonna connect.
Nice.
You crack her with some rocks.
My goodness.
I'm gonna aim right for the throat.
Oh, good golly.
That's insane. All right. She is very bloodied and wheezing. As you can see, you've worked her over pretty dang good. She's close to expiring. So, it is her turn now, and she's going to try to break out of this dang grapple you've got in.
Can she do it?
Got hurt. So, she's going to use her dex. Woo!
Oh my gosh.
And I doubt, I mean, for formality, feel free to roll Ichibi, but I don't
Can you
think you'll.
defeat it?
Athletics.
This would be an epic moment.
This would be.
Epical.
Alex still trolling me in the chat. Okay.
Tragically.
Nice. All right. Yep. She breaks free, but that's her turn is spent kind of shoving you off. So now you guys, she's kind of like 5 feet from the edge, and she's kind of cornered against the edge. So it's like her back is to the entrance of the cave, and you, Ichibi, she just kind of shoved you off here, and then I feel like the rest of you all are kind of within attack range as well of that 5 feet by now too. And then on the other side of behind you guys, so you kind of formed a perimeter between her and Valrin, who's inside the cave. So it's like cave entrance, her, the 3 of you guys, and then Valrin.
It's like with the arms wide open
That's it.
into the sunlight.
With arms wide open. Okay. It is Tiny's turn. Let's see something magical.
All right. Like Babe Ruth, I'm going to point my bat to the rising sun, which I assume we can see outside
Yeah.
the cave entrance. And I'm going
course.
to line up my swing.
I so want this to work, just for epicness.
I know, me too. I'm so desperate for it.
It does not.
Disgusting.
I'm sorry. You like point out your shot and do
Nothing
a
cool
swing.
happens.
Nothing happens. No. All right. It is.
It's okay, Tiny. Get on next time.
It is.
I mean, shut up, nerd.
He's gonna do another sacred flame. He's trying to make this work. Her dex. Yeah, she dodges it. She kind of darts as he hits the ground and it sizzles. You overseers have gone too far. We have a law and order in our culture. This is way beyond what you should be doing right now. And then she hisses back, "This is the way. We have to remain pure as a culture and a society, and you protect these interlopers that are causing damage to our society by every ounce of a second that they're here." I didn't fully form that sentence out, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
All right. Ichibi, it is your turn.
Okay. Ichibi. What you gonna do, bud?
What you going to do when they come for you?
I think Ichibi is probably gonna throw some he's gonna have to throw something.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking in my inventory to see what I have.
A fish.
Yes. It's a fish.
Do it.
He throws a
Flop like a fish.
a large sea bass.
Okay.
Maybe that's too big, I don't know. And
I think it's perfect.
yeah. So I don't know what that would be. Short sword.
Sure. That sea bass is going to connect.
Oh.
I like to see you use the sea bass as a sword. Just whoosh.
Yeah. This is where it all starts.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I like how it's not a swordfish.
That's right. That's right. No, it's not. That would be too great. Okay, so you knock her, and she is withered by that hit, like so close to death's door. She is
my gosh.
so close. But
I'd
that's
like to think it leaves little fish scale imprints on
yeah,
her,
it does. It kind of like get little BB pellets in her face, yeah, and then she's wheezing from and like holding her wounds as she's starting to bleed out a little bit, and we
I don't know why I have this.
you're just like flopping it.
It's like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything. So.
And we pan over to the Chiseler. It's his turn.
I'm gonna pick up the fish and I'm gonna take it on a swing.
Yes!
Do it.
All right, we will use that as your attack roll. Okay, how do you want to use this fish to end this lady?
I'm gonna hold the thing up over my head and just say, "I knew something seemed fishy," and just bring it down on her head.
Great.
Crunch.
The worst. Brr, 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 brr. There we go. Ending blow horn. Brr, 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 brr.
It'll drop on the deck and flop like a fish.
And flop like a fish. So, she kind of get in the last gasp words before she ends her life. Before this ends her life, she says, "The worst outside influence was your humor," and she like falls out, and just you see her with the fish sticks into her face as it connects with her skull, shatters her skull. It just sticks in her face, and she falls back from all the wounds you've done to this lady, and she just falls back and and does several flips off the rock face as her body falls into the abyss. And you guys are all right. Well, not into the abyss, but off to the cliffside and on down the side of the mountain, on out of sight. You guys are out of combat. Congratulations! You've defeated the spy. Wow. So you all are watching this gorgeous, picturesque scene of the sunrise coming up on the side of the island after you've had this experience, but you're all winded from this combat, and you're bloodied and you from the scrape, and you all kind of look around, and just kind of the adrenaline starts to wear off a little bit, and Valrin is kind of holding his injuries in his sides, He just starts shaking his head, and you hear him say, I just can't believe that the overseers would commit something like this in literal broad daylight and not in order of our procedures or in accordance to our laws. And then he just says, they really are out of control. I had feared that this would happen, that they would become so extreme that they would take bold decisions, but this is beyond anything I've ever seen them boldly do before. I must ask you one thing. He's learned your names by now, so he's like, Ichibi, Chiseler, and Tiny. I must ask you aid me in purging this land of the overseers. And he sternly looks at you as we end our session.
Wow. It's a pretty violent world we live in. Are we child soldiers now?
Who will know what happens next week as these child soldiers now go into war against overseers? So join us next week. This is a fun episode. We again have to continue this one shot because it's starting to pick up some steam a little bit. So we will continue diving into Ichibi's backstory next week and hopefully get some more action in his backstory as we continue down this chapter. So thank you all for joining us and fighting on us. We will be back here next week, and we're now back on the regular rotation and schedule. So I hope you guys find us in PU2 ASU and watch all of our things and check us out here on Twitch or on our YouTube channel. I want everybody to have a good night. Thank you for finding us and clicking on us. And this is PU2 Cru saying good night.
Good night.
Good night.